All right, Drew, you ready to eat dirt, man?
No. Nate, just like the intro, Supercross 4 is out, and yep, we just ate the dirt because, dude, all we did was place in last place.
Oh, man.
Supercross is back, and I always look forward to the Milestone producing a new one so I can get back into Supercross because, man, I love the world of dirt bikes. I love racing them. I'm not a racer guy at all. I'm not in another racing genre, but when it comes to Supercross, I'm hooked. Problem is, they didn't really make it that different from last year with the difficulty. I have one problem after another because I'm always in last place. You check the difficulty setting, it's on very easy. This isn't easy, I'm in last. I go back to Supercross 2. I would sit at the starting line, let the racers go out, and then I would start up. Come in first place. Dude, I could crush that game. This one, Supercross 4, and Supercross 3 for even that matter, the difficulty level in these ones have just spiked up to an elevation of just unfathomable. And I don't get why it's so difficult when it's that easy. The easy setting is right there. It even says when you start it, very easy. There's nothing about this thing as easy at all. I've had one problem after another. How about you?
Man, I felt the disconnect right away too, dude. I went through the tutorial, which it's decent. I mean, it kind of just goes through the basics. But again, man, to be completely fair, the tutorial needs more to it, man, because when you're hitting a lot of these jumps or even like the speed bumps, I don't have an understanding of how to control my weight. And just something for the team, if they would have implemented just an extra 5-10 minute tutorial of being like, when you hit, let's say, a longer jump, you're going to want to shift your weight this much or roughly this much, or if you know the speed bumps, man, I spent 20 minutes, a half an hour trying to figure out how to put my stick so I could hit those humps really nice. But man, that disconnect was there, dude. This game is tough. Granted, that's in career mode and all the regular races. I actually placed a little bit higher, never first in any of the events, but I actually at least got closer. So that's kind of nice, but it's weird, man. When you're in career mode, you have training options and challenges. And, I would place first place in some of these, and then again hit that race and I get last place.
No, I know. There is just a balancing issue here is what's going on, right? For people that are new to Supercross and are looking to get into it, I think this is really going to dishearten them and take them out of the experience instantly if they pick up the game at all. That's the problem, right? You need to introduce people and how do they traverse the whoop section? What is a dragon back when you're hitting that jump, right? There's just a little tail and then there's a bigger jump. And then when you get into tabletops, how do you transfer from one tabletop to the next, or the triple jumps? Like, there's so many different things which makes the world Supercross so exciting because it's always different from the track. How do you train somebody or let them understand the mechanics of the game when they're brand new to it? I've been playing this for a while, so I'm able to kind of transfer my weight back and forth. And sometimes I'd have a smooth run, other times not so smooth. And it was just, man, the 250s obviously are a huge difference when you go to the 450 bike. There's a lot more power in that 450. And that's really where I found the game to be a little bit easier because you're able to take the triples and land those and you get that smooth transfer. But when you're in the 250s, dude, you see the pros go on 250s and they can achieve it. But when you're playing this, I found myself landing on the back side of the jump. I'm not landing over top of it. I'm landing actually in front of it or right on top. And then your player just bails. And then there's just no coming back from it at all. Or I start off good. I'll get the whole shot. I'm first. Great. That lasts for about 30 seconds. And then I'm last again. I was just like, man, it was irritating. But you talk about the compound. That's great. It more or less kind of gives you a place to go and explore, test out some jumps, things like that. It doesn't explain how to do a tail whip at all, which was kind of irritating. I still find the tail whip in the game one of the most frustrating mechanics to nail the most. And it's really important because it actually cuts down on the air drag when you're actually traversing from one jump into the next. Simple things you don't know, right? Especially if you're not familiar, like you, Nate.
Oh, man. Again, It was very, very tough. But, the compound, what it does offer, which I thought was kind of cool, is just open world exploration. A lot of dirt bikers, they like just hitting trails. And this kind of offers some of that and some totally ridiculous jumps that I actually really enjoyed. But again, there's actually collectibles, which is kind of neat. And then a time trial and events where you compete against AIs. So a nice addition. Instead of just having racing and career mode, you actually at least have, some sort of free roam.
Yep. No, for sure. And something else that's new this year is actually the skill tree. I thought that was cool. You're able to improve your player as you kind of progress. And it was nice to get some of these challenges. But, man, training, again, when they did the training mode in your career, your training mode helps you achieve stars, which will allow you to spend points to upgrade your player. Perfect. Better braking, better handling, better transfers, all that stuff, right? Makes a lot of sense, and it goes well with the game. What really kind of hurt, though, is that if all they needed to do is have a little bit of a tutorial introduction on how to do some of these things. It comes up in a little blurb, but it's not enough. And especially, again, for new players, how do you do that drag and back? How do you do the transfer from one tabletop into the next? Doing some of these challenges, they get tougher as they go, and so they should. But in a little explanation of how to achieve these things would be a little nice reward. And then when you upgrade, again, super cool, but you're upgrading your bike, not so much your actual character, because the character customization in this game, you can change your outfits, but your overall appearance, like your face, when you're creating your character, is so minimal, man. It's one of the biggest lackings in the game, which is unfortunate. I really want to hone in on making myself. Right, and I'm not able to do that. If I can really make it so it's me out there on the racing around, it gives you that gravity that you want to go, okay, man, that's me. I really got to push myself, and it's there, but it's just not quite there yet. And I want to see a story mode introduced further on too. When we get into Supercross 5 or 6, man, introduce a story. Make me start from the lower ranks and work myself up from the 250 to the 450. Show the struggles of somebody getting into the world of Supercross, and how can that evolve into this big sponsorship opportunity within the game. There's opportunities here, but when you're just racing and racing and racing, sometimes it's just not enough.
Yeah, man, I think that's what would take Supercross to the next level, because again, like you said, it's just racing and then do a few challenges or maybe an event if you're eligible, and then hit the next race. So again, like a lot of these sports games and everything are really hitting us with a lot of cool career modes and stuff. So man, hopefully in the future we'll see that with some better graphics too, now that the next generation's all around.
For sure.
So in addition to career mode and compound, we actually have a track editor, which they have a tutorial at the very beginning, and man, they really hold your hand through this, which again, it's all just a blurb and then move on to the next piece and then put it on, and then it kind of explains how it works. So it's, with any sort of map editor, you have to have some sort of skill with this stuff. So I did think that the tutorial was pretty good with this. And you want to know what a cool feature? Why not build your own track? I'm sure a lot of guys that are into dirt biking probably has some pretty neat ideas, and I would love to be able to see some of them, because you can actually access maps that people have created.
No, absolutely. Actually, Milestone right now has a challenge going on too. So there you want to enter in that competition. That's pretty cool to see. Kind of reminds me of the Excite Bike back in the old day on Nintendo. Definitely a cool feature. I jumped into the world of online. What can I say?
Crickets.
Honestly, it was crickets. That was the problem, right? There was 2 servers going. That was it. I jump into a lobby of what was supposed to be 16 people. There was 5 of us. That's all. The rest is filled with AI, which I beat. So I can beat the AI in the online mode, but yet you go over to career mode and I just get crushed. It was just it's a balancing thing, right? You got to balance out the very easy on the single player, and I keep going back to it because it's just frustrating. Because after a while, I just quit the game, and I didn't want to quit. I played so much of this game in the past. Coming into 4, man, the game looks great. So you get all excited to get back into the game again, and you're just disheartened and thrown to the side. And like you said, just eating dirt.
Yep. Well, man. Well, okay. I think we've talked a lot about this. If we were gonna score Monster Energy, blah 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 blah. What are you gonna score it?
Supercross 4 from Milestone from me comes in at a 6.5.
Oh, okay. Well, man, I enjoyed the free roam mode, and again, once you finally kind of place better than 22nd on some of these maps, it is really quite rewarding. So I'm there with a 7. The difficulty of this game and lack of character customization drives our score into the dirt. But having compound mode alongside a nice skill tree system really does help this one out.